Ross, I'm so glad we were able to have this sleepover together.
Yeah, I've just been really busy with Dr. Hedrick's class. He's a real hard ass.
Yeah, I know, that class does suck.
I feel that.
Did you hear that?
I did hear that.
What was it, Ross?
I don't know, man.
Can you check?
Let's see. I think it's coming from outside.
Go get it. What is it?
Brayden, I think that's a rake-in.
A rake-in? There's no rake-ins around here.
What is it?
I think it's a possum.
What's a possum?
The Didelphis virginiana, or more commonly known as the Virginia possum, is North America's only marsupial that poses threats to both agriculture and urban settings. Possums are small to medium-sized marsupials, ranging in size from a large house cat to a small mouse. Most members of this taxon have long snouts, a narrow brain case, and a prominent sagittal crest. Possums have a remarkably robust immune system and show partial or total immunity to the venom of rattlesnakes, cottonmouths, and other pit vipers. Possums are about 8 times less likely to carry rabies than wild dogs, and about 1 in 800 possums become infected with this virus. The possum has opposable thumbs. Their thumbs, which are called hallux, are on their rear feet, so technically their toes, and allow the possum's formidable climbing skills. Primates and possums are the only mammals with opposable first toes. They have prehensile tails which are adapted for grasping and wrapping around things like tree limbs. The possums can hang from its tail for short periods of time, but the creature doesn't sleep hanging from its tail, as some people think. Possums have been observed carrying bundles of grasses and other materials by looping their tail around them. This conscious control leads many to consider the tail as a fifth appendage, kind of like a hand. The eyes of the possum appear black, but what you are seeing are strongly dilated pupils. They have an iris around them, but to us it is mostly out of sight. The giant pupils are thought to be an adaptation to their nocturnal habitats. As opportunistic scavengers, possums will feast on a wide variety of foodstuffs. Their omnivorous diet includes insects, small rodents, frogs, birds, and berries. In residential neighborhoods, possums forage for vegetables, fruit, garbage, birdseed, and pet food. Fresh meat and roadkill are also dietary staples. The possum's diet changes slightly depending on the season. For example, the pests eat a lot of insects in the summer, while they mostly consume small mammals in the winter. As scavenger omnivores, possums eat everything from last night's meatloaf to grass. Food sources typically include dead animals, berries, and nuts. Possums will also hunt mice, birds, snakes, and chickens. Possums will eat poultry and their eggs if they can get to them, so they pose a significant threat to the poultry industry specifically. If it's edible and accessible, the possum will eat it.
Brayden,
What's up, Ross?
where do baby possums come from?
Well, if you really want to know. As a marsupial, the possum has a reproductive system, including the divided uterus and marsupium, which is the pouch. The average menstrual cycle of the possum is about 28 days. Possums do possess a placenta, but it is short-lived, simple in structure, and, unlike that of placental mammals, is not fully functional. The young are therefore born at a very early stage, although the gestation period is similar to many other small marsupials at only 12 to 14 days. But once born, the offspring must find their way into the marsupium to hold on to and nurse from a teat. The young are then weaned between 70 and 125 days when they detach from the teat and leave the pouch. Additionally, female possums often give birth to very large numbers of young, most of which fail to attach to a teat, although as many as 13 young can attach and therefore survive, depending on the species. The possum lifespan is unusually short for a mammal of its size, about only 2 to 4 years. The species are moderately sexually dimorphic, with males usually being slightly larger, much heavier, and having larger canines than females. The largest difference between the possum and non-marsupial mammals is the bifurcated penis of the male and bifurcated vagina of the female.
Like, man, what's a bifurcated penis and vagina? It's like, you're telling me that this thing's got 2 penises and 2 vaginas? Because I don't see that happening, man.
Well, Ross, the penis is separated into 2 columns, so that the penis has 2 ends corresponding to females' 2 vaginas. The penis is used only during copulation and is separated from the urinary tract. It curves forward when erect, and when it's not erect, it is retracted into the body in an S-shaped curve. A third canal, the median vagina, is used for birth. As for their habitat, as long as there is water, food, and shelter, possums can call any area home. They prefer to live in trees and use their sharp nails and tails to climb and maintain balance. Possums are found in most areas of the United States, except for a lot of the Northwest.
Possums are usually solitary and nomadic, staying in one area as long as food and water are easily available. Some families will group together in ready-made burrows or even under houses. Though they will temporarily occupy abandoned burrows, they do not dig or put much effort into building their own. As nocturnal animals, they favor dark, secure areas. These areas may be below ground or above. When threatened or harmed, they will play dead, mimicking the appearance and smell of a sick or dead animal. This response is involuntary, rather than a conscious act. In the case of baby possums, the brain does not always react at the appropriate moment, and therefore they often fail to play dead when threatened. When a possum is playing dead, the animal's lips are drawn back, the teeth are bared, saliva foams around the mouth, the eyes close or half close, and a foul-smelling fluid is secreted from the anal glands. The animal will typically regain consciousness after a period of between 40 minutes and 4 hours, a process that begins with slight twitching of the ears. Adult possums do not hang from trees by their tails, as sometimes depicted, but sometimes babies may dangle temporarily. Their tails are not strong enough to support a mature adult's weight. Instead, the possum uses its tail as a brace and a fifth limb when climbing. The tail is occasionally used as a grip to carry bunches of leaves or bedding materials to the nest. A mother will sometimes carry her young upon her back, where they will cling tightly even when she is climbing or running. Threatened possums, especially males, will growl deeply, raising their pitch as the threat becomes more urgent. Males make a clicking smack noise out of the side of their mouths as they wander in search of a mate, and males will sometimes repeat the sound in return. When separated or distressed, baby possums will make a sneezing noise to signal to their mother. If threatened, the baby will open its mouth and quietly hiss until the threat is gone. Possums are nocturnal, active mainly after dark. Although they do not hibernate, they often are less active during the winter.
Enclosed poultry and secure outdoor pen and house. Possums will eat poultry and their eggs if they can get to them. To prevent possums from accessing birds and their night roosts, equip poultry houses with well-fitted doors and secure locking mechanisms. A possum's dexterous paws make it possible for it to open various types of fasteners, latches, and containers. To prevent possums from accessing poultry during the day, completely enclose outdoor pens with 1-inch chicken wire placed over a sturdy wooden framework. Overlap and securely wire all seams on top to prevent possums from forcing their way in by using their weight.
To prevent economic loss in your agriculture business, possums can be controlled in a number of ways. The California Fish and Game Code classifies possums as non-game mammals. If you find possums threatening growing crops or other property of which you are the owner or tenant, you may control them using any legal means. Department of Fish and Game regulations prohibit the relocation of wildlife without written permission of the DFG. Always check to make sure that there are no local restrictions pertaining to the removal of possums prior to taking any action. Here are a few management options in urban settings. Homeowners who come across seemingly dead possums should never attempt to handle the pests. Although they appear lifeless, possums playing dead are fully alert and may bite or scratch if grabbed, which can spread dangerous illnesses like rabies, tuberculosis, leptospirosis, and spotted fever. The risk of sickness and property destruction from possums is cause for immediate removal of the pesky critters. Trapping is problematic due to relocation issues, and unless the habitat is modified, new possums will invade. Additionally, we have a few management options in agricultural settings. First, regularly pick up fallen birdseed and fruit to prevent attracting possums in orchards. As for shootings, landowners can shoot possums that are causing significant damage to their property, provided that shooting is in season, legal, and safe in their area. Most municipalities do not allow the discharge of firearms within their limits. Small caliber rifles are very effective for these species and will cause less harm to their fur and meat than other rearms. Follow all hunting laws and safe hunting practices. As for chemical control, at the present time there are no toxicant, fumigants, or repellents registered for the control of possums. For fencing, in orchards and vegetable gardens, possums can easily climb wood or wire fences or bypass them by using overhanging limbs of trees or shrubs. Wire fences will need to have a mesh side that is no wider than 3 inches to keep young possums out. It's important to protect fruit trees, bird feeders, and nest boxes. To prevent possums from climbing fruit trees, poles, and other vertical structures, install a metal or heavy plastic barrier. 24-inch long aluminum or galvanized vent pipe, available at most hardware stores, can serve as a pre-made barrier around narrow support. Alternatively, a funnel-shaped piece of aluminum flashing can be fitted around the tree or other vertical structure. The outside edge of the flared metal should be a minimum of 18 inches away from the support. To touch on mechanical control, in rural areas they can be shot or trapped with leg hold traps or cage traps. In urban areas, cage traps are the most effective and the safest method of control. Cage traps are available in feed or hardware stores. But while trapping and relocating a possum several miles away may seem appealing as a method of resolving a conflict because it's perceived as giving the animal a second chance in a new home, unfortunately, in addition to being illegal, moving possums often will not solve the problem because of other possums who will replace them and cause similar conflicts. Hence, it is more effective to make the site less attractive to possums than it is to routinely trap them. It is legal to trap possums as long as it is released at the site of capture, but is only beneficial when such traps are used to create physical exclusion from entering into barns, sheds, or coops. A downside to this approach is the possibility that the animal may simply enter someone else's property or ranch. So, if someone else has to trap the animal, they will be dealing with a possum who has learned the game, making it difficult to capture. If a possum needs to be trapped, use a single or double door type live trap that measures 11 by 11 by 36 inches. Place the trap where the animal or evidence of the animal has been seen.